Long ago, there lived a wealthy nobleman. He had two daughters, so beautiful and kind-hearted that he cherished them more than anything in the world. The sister's mother passed away not long after giving birth to the younger daughter, so he took a new wife to manage the household and bear him a son to carry on the family line. Before long, the stepmother gave birth to a son. Overjoyed, the man doted on the boy and boasted of him to the whole village. "Here is the precious son who will carry on our family name. When he grows up, he will inherit all our wealth and honor." The man cherished only his son, giving him everything good, while he began to treat his two daughters from his first wife as though they were invisible. The stepmother cunningly took advantage of this, burdening the two daughters with all the hardest chores and treating them cruelly. Yet the sisters leaned on each other for comfort and never lost their gentle, moonlit purity of heart. Years passed, and the older sister came of age to marry. A proposal came from the finest family in the region, and the man had no choice but to appear to grant his consent. But marrying her off meant preparing a costly dowry, and the thought of losing part of his fortune gnawed at him. The stepmother, too, could hardly bear the thought of it. "My lord, if she takes so much of our wealth with her as a dowry, won't our precious son's share be diminished? We cannot possibly give up that fortune." The son, his eyes gleaming with greed, egged his father on as well. "That's right, father. If my sisters take the wealth with them, I won't be able to live as well as the other children in this town." The man, blind to reason whenever it concerned his son, nodded along with them. And so the three of them gathered in a dark room to plot how to drive her out and keep the fortune for themselves. "Let's spread word that she has a secret lover and frame her for stealing the family's wealth to run off with him. Then, instead of a wedding, we can brand her a thief and drive her out." Late one night, the three of them hid away several precious jewels in a chest. Then, while the sisters slept, secretly planted money in the older sister's room. The next morning, the household was thrown into chaos as the stepmother ran into the yard with a shrill scream. "My lord, something terrible has happened. My jewels are missing." As if he had been waiting for this, the man barked orders at the servants to search the older sister's room from top to bottom. Before long, a bundle of money was found in her clothing chest. "How could you do such a thing?" the man bellowed, his face burning with fury. "How dare you steal your stepmother's jewels? So it's true you've had a secret lover all along. Were you planning to sell them and run off? You've disgraced your father beyond forgiveness." She wept, pounding her chest in anguish at the injustice of it all. "Father, that isn't true. I have never once touched her jewels. Please believe me." But the three of them, already in league together, refused to listen to a word she said. The younger sister clung to her father's knees, sobbing and pleading, but he coldly ordered that the older sister be driven out of the village. "A daughter branded a thief has no place under my roof. Take her far away to her mother's family at once." The son dragged her, weeping and struggling, deep into the mountains until they reached a cliff. He stepped close and whispered in her ear. "Sister, the truth is, father, mother, and I planned this together. Unfair as it is, there's nothing to be done. This cliff will be your grave. Farewell." Shattered by the discovery that even the father she trusted had betrayed and falsely accused her, she lost all hope of going on. She looked up at the sky with a long, weary and threw herself into the cold pond below. When the younger sister learned that her older sister had died, she wept for her in grief and longing, and followed her into the pond. After that, the pond where the two sisters drowned lost its blue color and turned black, and the region began to suffer failed harvests. Stranger still, every new magistrate who arrived saw a ghost on his very first night in office and died of fright, again and again. Around that time, a scholar renowned for his courage and wisdom volunteered to take up the post of magistrate. On his first night, just as the rumors had said, the candle flame in his room flickered, and the sorrowful spirits of the two sisters appeared. Steadying his fear, the magistrate listened closely to what they had to say. "My lord, please clear our names of this injustice. I never stole anything. For my brother's sake, our father conspired with our stepmother and half-brother to frame me for stealing the family's jewels, and drove me to my death. The jewels I was accused of stealing are hidden safely in my father's strongbox. Please look for yourself and clear our names." The next morning, the magistrate led his officers straight to the man's house and raided it. Just as the sisters' spirits had said, the jewels were found in the strongbox in his room. It was the moment the whole village learned that the three of them had conspired together. "Blinded by greed, you framed your own daughter and drove her to her death. How could a father do such a thing?" Once the truth came to light, the villagers condemned the man, who had sent his own daughter to her death for his son's sake, as well as the wicked stepmother and her son. The magistrate reported everything to the king, and the royal court handed down severe punishment. The greedy stepmother and son paid dearly for their crimes, and were exiled to a remote island, while the man, whose twisted devotion to his son had led him to abandon his daughters and join the plot, had his entire fortune seized, and spent the rest of his life imprisoned in a cold cell, consumed by regret and guilt. The magistrate had the sisters' bodies respectfully recovered from the pond and laid to rest in a sunny, peaceful spot. Astonishingly, the pond's dark, dead waters ran clear once more, and beautiful red flowers bloomed along its banks. Peace returned to the land at last.